Okay, so just a quick thing. The audio gets a little messy at a certain point, and I don't know how to fix it. It's just a thing that happened, but it does get cleared up later on in the video, just like that. And also, just because I forgot to say it in the actual video too, they did the Shadow the Hedgehog opening where where Sonic's like, and he falls down and Shadow's standing behind him, like the whole thing where it's like Shadow's like, he falls and Shadow's like, God it damn, I'm like, holy shit, I forgot to say that. I'm like, holy crap, it was so freaking cool. There's so many cool references in this. It's freaking great. Oh, my name's Fox, and I told again, I'm ABIT Fox. And I just saw Sonic 3. Hell yes. Which also, these are the toppers for Sonic 2. These are toppers for Sonic 2. Which, I really do think this one originally was a topper for the first movie, with the original design, and they eventually reworked it slightly so they could sell it for Sonic 2. Because the other ones look because the Sonic 3 ones, oh shit, don't you, look way better. Which one? I got Shadow, along with, Tails, Knuckles, and of course, Sonic. Which originally I was only going to get Sonic, Shadow, and Knuckles because, one, even though Sonic 2 was his debut one, also I'm going to talk about the movie actually, stuff like that in a minute, but even though Sonic 2 was his debut, they didn't actually have a Knuckles topper for whatever reason. Well, I can guess probably just that they didn't know if 2 was going to do as well, so, but, and I'm also... And also, I'm sure, and then also, like, because again, I'm pretty sure they were trying to get rid of, like, they had the mold for the original Sonic one, so I'm sure they had to redo it. But, yeah, even, like, and the thing is, too, like, they did reuse the tail, which is, again, the reason why I think this was, like, first movie Sonic before, because they, oh, okay, that's good. I think they pretty much, yeah, it's the same figure, almost. I actually kind of like the yellow on this one more. But this one actually has a little bit more painting on the tails. We're actually going to talk about the movie again. We will, but it just, just wanted to... Also, mine has like a scar, an Assassin's Creed scar on his face. I don't know if you can see that on his cheek. But, and actually the pose is slightly different. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if, again, this was originally the first movie Sonic. Because then also, the cups themselves look pretty badass. And I'm sure you'll see. Also, I got a keychain, which I actually have another one too. Where's the other? Oh, there he is. I was like, wait, where's Sonic? Here he is. And this here is Sonic. And he looks way more movie accurate than, at least, it depends on the movie. So if you have the Sonic 2 one, you got, original, quote-unquote, ugly Sonic. And then you have, the blue blur himself, which you could tell, like, kind of the immediate difference. But, God, imagine if they would have stuck with the original design. It's like night and day. By God. Alright. But yeah, like, even looking at this, seeing like how slightly edited the tails are, the mold is, compared to, the Sonic ones, it wouldn't surprise me if those guys originally, were supposed to be, like, that. But anyways. Also, another thing I actually got. I'm sorry, I gotta show this off because what, I loaded it because I got Sonic's head. Sonic's head. And mind you, I won a lottery thing literally the day before, so I won like $200 in that. Not like it was a thing where like you pull out a lottery. Anyways, in case I got Shadow. Spoiler. Anyways, this entire video is gonna be a spoiler. Just FYI for anyone. This is probably gonna be a massive spoiler because I really want to talk about this movie, and that's enough of a reason. In any case, I'll put those guys up later. These all out. All right. So, oh yeah, Sonic shoes. I didn't get those at the theater, but you know. But anyways, I'm gonna watch the trailer because I haven't seen the trailer for it, and then from there on, we're gonna go into talking about the movie, and then again, spoilers, all this stuff. Be prepared. All right. So everything's recording. Everything's going good. All right. Let's begin in 3, 2. From Paramount Pictures.
It's too powerful. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need you-know-who.
This is a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped me?
Doctor.
We have visitors.
This is sad, Robotnik. Even for you.
We need your help.
On one condition. Let's do this!
Jim Carrey actually let his hair grow out so they could shave it on camera. Just to show how much he liked this doing Eggman.
Sir, I don't have the proper materials.
Found some.
This December.
When we're done, there won't be anything left.
Hey, no cheat code!
He actually doesn't say that in the movie, I don't think.
What did you do?
What I had to.
God! Sonic 3.
Welcome home, my boy. It's impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
Are you? In the saggy flesh.
Alright.
If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it.
Alright. So. First off, right off the back, I love Shadow. I love Shadow. Like legit, yesterday I was a bit worried because I'm like, what if I get there and they don't have any more cups and they don't have Shadow in them? Luckily they did. I don't think they did by the end of the screening, which again, this is this isn't like the quote unquote official day. Well, I guess technically, yeah. Like it's always like the day before that they actually show the movie. But this is and also like I got Shadow Tails back there, and where did I put them? Oh, it's over on the ground. I'll go get it later. But I just bought like more shots on video. Anyways, okay, so a few things. Okay, so let's just get off real quick talking about this. It pretty much the start off like it's literally like Sonic's birthday, and they get a birthday like the day he came to Earth, and like they're celebrating it, having a good time. They get a call that the gun agents come in. I forgot what her name was. She's the love interest in Grimm. If you've ever seen the show Grimm, she pops up and she goes, "We need your help. There's a disturbance in Tokyo." And they're like, "What? Like disturbance?" Like, okay, I guess Team Sonic. They head there, and it turns out, and then pretty much, and also like this is skipping ahead just the Sonic's bit. Also, Sonic's whole thing is like Sonic needs to learn to work as a team, not just try to run off and be by himself. Which, all right, cool. I like that. Awesome. So that's all happening. That's going on. I'm trying to think specifically on what to say, but so that's happening. But also before all this happened, Shadow's in Prison Island on a gun facility, where these people are walking around. They come up to his thing, and they're like, he's just in a pod sleeping, and they're like, oh. He's like the guy's like, that guy's been on ice for 50 years. Nothing has ever happened. Apparently it puts him so on ice that like he has no heartbeat, because when his heartbeat starts up again, they're like, that's not supposed to happen. Which also, it seems like for those past 50 years, he's been reliving over and over and over again in his head the death of Maria. Which is like, oh shit. So he busts out and just kicks and beats the hell out of everyone. You actually kind of see that in the trailer here, where he's fighting the gun agents.
There's been a high-level security breach. And we need Team Sonic's immediate assistance. Project Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Shadow story.
So, pretty much, they've had him in their stasis. His herpes starts up again. It turns out someone hacked the system, which it looks like Eggman, because one of the Eggman's like mustache symbol. Shadow breaks free, destroys everything, goes to Tokyo, and sees that he's been stuck there for 50 years. That's when Team Sonic comes in. They start fighting. Shadow beats the hell out of Knuckles, Tails. Just kicks the shit out of Tails for no apparent reason. Like, Tails I don't even tried to fight.
Right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
No, no!
Did I? Wait a minute. I just saw the trailer, and I feel like I completely... Oh, I did. It started me off... Wait a minute. Why did it start me off in the middle?
Sonic, you finally found your family.
That's weird.
Try to keep up.
I know it hasn't always been easy.
But the disaster did not play a part in this story yet, so...
But you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
There's been a high-level security breach. And we need Team Sonic's immediate assistance.
I don't know why I started off in the middle.
Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Shadow's story began a lot like yours, Sonic.
Which you really did, but I really like how they show that.
Family and friends. Shadow found only pain and loss.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with the giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
Also, they do a Sonic Heroes thing where Tails grabs Sonic and then Knuckles grabs Sonic's legs.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
No, no!
It's not end well for him.
My turn.
There was no reason, man. There was no reason to kick Tails that hard. Holy shit.
About this! He's too powerful.
The music.
I can't believe I'm saying
Sorry, I
this,
gotta just watch this.
but we
whole thing.
need you-know-who.
Yeah, because they started off in the middle. I don't know why.
When has that ever stopped me?
Also, Eggman is thought to be dead. And obviously he's not, especially when pretty much when they go there and like the gun commander tells them like, Project Shadow, like pretty much kind of gives the backstory of Project Shadow, which it is different from the games. Which honestly, now that I think about like from how they kind of did Sonic in this, it kind of makes sense a little bit. But also, because, like, first off, Shadow is not artificially created in this version. He is actually... Well, actually, you know what? I shouldn't even say that. We don't know. We actually don't know. I'm saying he's not artificially created, but he might have been. But he at least was not created by Gerald Robotnik. That is true. He was found when a meteorite crash landed, and he was inside that meteor. A black meteor. I mean... Okay, as long as you keep the Black Doom references and Black Arm stuff connected, hell yeah. He gets taken into the gun agency, which I do feel there's slight retcons in this. Mind you, I still love the movie. But there is some slight retcons, because I'm pretty sure, because I just finished watching Sonic 2 last night. Unless they're saying, like, it after... No, because they said after San Francisco, a new government organization was made, the Guardian Units of the Nations. But it turns out, no, Gun has been existing for the past 50 years. And not only that, like, again, Shadow seems to have been... Unless they moved Shadow from wherever he was to Prison Island, like, again, like, the whole thing was, like, they didn't know where Shadow... I guess that's probably what happened. They probably moved Shadow from there to Prison Island. But pretty much, Shadow is... They are pretty much just at this gun facility studying him, seeing that he has, you know, all this energy and power inside of him, that, you know, he's running. And also, like, if anything, I bet he still is genetically created. Because, like, he has the inhibitor rings, like, when he's found, it seems like. So, most likely, I'm gonna go ahead and guess, like, those rings were, like, given by Black Doom, because they know how powerful he was. They never officially state what the rings do. Which, you know, Sonic fan, yeah. For other fans, no, because I did go with non-Sonic fans. They're like, "Whoa, I didn't know. Are the rings just for show?" It's like, no, they're not. They're not. They give him more power. He is more power. He's always fighting with inhibitors on. And when he's being the shit out of Sonic in this movie, it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, so Shadow is, pretty much Shadow's being studied. Maria always lives with Gerald, I guess, and came with him. To like the facility. There is no arc in this. This is kind of their arc. But when she goes there, she sees Shadow in like the green tube, and actually does like a. And it's actually a funny scene where she draws over like the green tube to give Shadow like cat ears and all this other stuff, and pretty much that kind of starts the bonding between those two. You know, Shadow, like, whenever he's done doing tests, Shadow is plucked. Maria will take Shadow from there. They'll go through all this stuff. And we get a lot more flashbacks when Shadow, eventually when he's fighting Sonic, we just kind of see that in there. Fights Sonic Tokyo, disappears. He goes back to, let's just call it the Ark. Goes back to the Ark, sees, like, everything's pretty much how it left off. Because it's, like, the gun commander says, like, oh, back then, you know, Project Shadow was an alien who came down to Earth in a black meteorite, and we studied him. He had almost unlimitless chaos power, which we are given now that, yes, the energy that Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and in the end, even Shadow, has chaos energy. They generate it. They generate chaos energy, and that is that energy that's coming off of them, which cool. I'm okay with this. I'm like, at least now we do get an answer for it. We don't need an answer of like where does it come from. I'm sure we can get that later on, but we do get that yes, it is chaos energy. That is what this energy that's coming off of them is. They can generate it. Which I don't know if they're gonna say something along the lines of like the different colors do different things, because that'd be cool. Like blue is for speed, like, you know, power is for red is power, yellow's for flight, and then, you know, orange is maybe like a mixture of all three of them, because Shadow beats the shit out of them. But the gun commander gives that to them, but that at the Chow Garden, which then that's when egg drones come attack. It seems that they kill the gun commander, but they give Team Sonic the key, one of two key cards, and it says like, this is the gun's most powerful weapon. I don't trust anyone else with it. Hold on to this. Also, I should say, also thinking too that what happened on the Ark in this version is like there is like it just says an explosion happened and the lead scientist was thrown in jail for it. Which we later on find out is Gerald Robotnik, yes. But also on that same note too, I can't remember what the reasoning was exactly. Maybe it was for his release. I can't entirely remember. But like they pretty much said like, hey, you know, to trade like, you know, they wanted him to build a weapon. And he does, which is, spoilers, again, spoilers, go watch this movie. Go watch this movie. I love this movie. Go watch this movie. Is the Eclipse Cannon. Apparently, I also got spoiled with, like, an interview thing. I didn't watch anything like that. It got spoiled being me because someone showed, like, I'm like, you idiots. But, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of guessed that was going to be a thing. Also, there's, just to go, okay, I'm everywhere. Okay, Shadow. Let's stick with Shadow. Stick with Shadow for right now. Shadow in the past, you know, him and Maria have fun and all this stuff, but he does feel like he's an alien, like he doesn't belong here, like everyone's scared of him. Which, again, it's very mirroring Sonic being alone and, in a sense, being scared of others and scared that, you know, they'll hate him. But Shadow, like Maria says, like, you know, you're not a monster and all this stuff. And also there is a Bio-Lizard reference too at one point where, like, they're watching an old movie and the Bio-Lizard is, like, the Godzilla monster. It's like alien from outer space and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot something to mention. Limited edition poster that I'm gonna be hanging up. I got Sonic and these ones hung up. I need to freaking hang up this one. I'm gonna have to buy another poster for it. But yeah, so Sonic. So that happens eventually. Man, I'm trying to think of what it was exactly. But pretty much, Gerald says, like, you know, the government's coming to take him away. They try to escape. While trying to escape, you know, Shadow holding Maria's hand, everyone's running. A gun agent pulls out a gun. The commander, who is eventually the one who does put Shadow into stasis for 50 years, tries to stop the guy who's shooting it, but he doesn't. Guy shoots, hits a barrel full of Shadow's stored up chaos energy that they've been, like, harnessing. It explodes. That's what kills Maria. That's what gets Gerald put into jail and puts Shadow on ice for 50 years. Which I actually kind of really do like how they use. Because the big thing about them is obviously that they generate energy.
Can we just talk about this?
Is that they generate, like, this energy, and they use that. So spoilers, the way that they power the Eclipse Cannon isn't via the Chaos Emeralds or the Master Emerald, which also works differently in this also. It is via Shadow. Like, Shadow just has, when they do eventually get the Eclipse Cannon, Shadow just runs inside of it, the wheel, and runs fast enough to where it just starts generating, like almost unlimited energy, and that's what charges the cannon that can destroy the planet. But pretty much, Shadow finds Gerald, and they say, like, they're going to make the entire world pay for what they did to Maria. And then, while that's going on, Sonic teams up with Stone, when Stone actually stops the drones that try to kill them. And says, like, there's a faker out there, and he's doing all this. They go to Eggman, who is let himself go and has gotten fat. Which, again, this is Jim Carrey's actual hair. He let it grow out for, like, a year and a half, he said, to then, like, shave it off for this movie. Just to show how much he actually likes doing this. Like, I don't know, that's just awesome to me. I don't know. But, so these guys kind of work together to track down Gerald to the Ark. But at the Ark itself, you know, Gerald reveals himself to Ivo, and also Shadow picks off everyone during the whole thing. And also, while this is all going on, Stone is also obviously following behind everything. But Eggman finds out that he has a grandpa, and, like, you know, he's like, oh my god, I have family! And he loves it, and, like, they start having quality time together, and it seems to be pushing Stone out of it. Pretty much they do, like, a whole thing with VR headsets and all that stuff to have childhood memories that Eggman never had, pretty much. And pretty much then it's a race to get the second key card, where Tom and his wife, I can't remember her name, sadly, Sonic's mom, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles' mom now. They all have to work together to sneak into the gun thing so they can find the the other key card, which and then while that's going, like, there's a really funny scene where like Tails has a hologram to show like everything that happens, and there's multiple times where you see Sonic just straight die. Like Sonic, you run into the energy field surrounding the gun thing, you're turned to dust, and you just kind of flop over, and then like you go through here, lasers kill you, cut you up, and then cut those shoes up, and make sure there's nothing left. I'm like, oh shit! And you see it, and Tails like, can we stop with this? Like Jesus. God, and then pretty much that happens. There's now always... I'm kind of mad because I was at the fan event, which is great. I love that shit so much. I need to move this over here. But, I was at the fan event. And... the opening scene for it, they're like, oh! Shadow! Like, oh, it's, it's like, oh, it's, they show pretty much Gerald and Ivo have a whole dance routine going through it, because apparently now there always has to be a dance thing that happens in these movies, which I'm kind of okay with. I can't remember, did the first one have a dance scene in it? I know the second one did, that's the Bruno Mars one, but they have a whole dance scene going through the lasers bouncing off their suits that Ivo made for them, which also, like, it's not protecting their head, so I don't know how the lasers didn't cut them, but whatever. This entire movie also, let me just say this right now, this entire movie is made to be fun, and really is made for a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, or people who are like, you want cartoon logic, because eventually when, like, they get through, and there's a whole scene happening, and, like, this scene where, like, Tom is on the ground. That's not Shadow doing that. It's like a security system inside the gun base that like either reverses gravity or increases it. But like these bars start coming down almost to kill Tom, and like pretty much Sonic has to not break gravity, but overcome gravity to destroy it. But there is a cool thing too where Shadow actually, where pretty much Tom uses like that little disguised fox thing in there, which I love all the little design things he has. Which also, there's a point where like to get into the gun base, they have to put in a USB drive into the mainframe, and by doing that, to hack the system to like shut down the shields and everything. But it doesn't work for the time. So what they do is they grab it and they blow into it. And Tails like, that's not gonna work. Plug it in, it works. I'm like, it's like I get it. Cartridge reference, I get it. But yeah, so Tails, Sonic, so they eventually... Also, apparently, Knuckles could just bust through. There's a lot of points where I'm just like, Knuckles could just bust through, then why did we do all this? Or Sonic just ran in at one point, but he did need help to get through the whole thing, because Tails had to grab him, spin him around, and throw him in. But, and his idea of like, well, can you use the rings to kind of tell? But I guess maybe they were trying to do it more stealthily. But, especially because they had to do it stealth-wise, I guess, so yeah. But, I'm trying to think. But yeah, they try to race in there. Tom eventually has to use a disguise himself as the gun commander to get the card from the love interest from Grimm. But Shadow thinks he's the actual gun commander, and hits him with like full force, nearly kills the guy. Sonic's like, what did you do? What I had to. And pretty much that scene happens. And eventually these two, Sonic has to use Sonic tells Knuckles to give him the Master Emerald, which apparently they've hid somewhere on Earth, and only Knuckles knows where it is. And Sonic is like, give me the Emerald. And they're like, we said we would never use that Emerald, especially for not for anger, only for good things. And he's like, just give me the Emerald. I need to do this. I need to stop Shadow. And pretty much Knuckles like, I trust you. They give him the Emerald, which it was Wade. He had it, and he was just like knocking it around. I'm like, God damn it. Sonic gets the Emerald. And I was, again, like, this is where the Master Emerald is different. So it seems like the 7 Chaos Emeralds created the Master Emerald. And the Master Emerald just seems to either summon the Chaos Emeralds to them, or I don't know. Like it seems like the Chaos Emeralds themselves, because we saw them disappear, but it seems like they just disappeared and like I don't know, scattered across the earth. But no, it seems like as long as you have the Master Emerald, you can re-summon them, or they're just always, or they form within the Master Emerald itself, apparently. Which, on one hand, cool. We're not gonna do a Dragon Ball chase thing for all of it, I guess. Not saying that's bad doing the, search for the Dragon Balls, but I am saying in the sense of like, all right, fine, I guess we're not gonna be doing that one. But Sonic, but yeah, Sonic gets it. I was half expecting them to do Dark Sonic. I'm like, oh my god, if they actually did that. But no, he goes Super, and pretty much flies up. I forgot to mention, Eggman gets the cards. Because Shadow gets the other card from this guy, and Eggman stole the other one from Sonic. Stone is also really just getting pushed off, and Stone's like, saying like, yeah, he loves Eggman and wants to protect him. Eggman's like, you're just a pawn, and I'm gonna clone you. They get into the Eclipse Cannon. They fly up. They fly up above the Earth. And Shadow then powers it up with his speed. And Gerald also gives like both Eggman and him like, the iconic suit. And Gerald then tells his whole plan that Eggman's like, oh, and we'll be able to rule the world like this. And Gerald's like, we're not going to rule the world. And Eggman's like, what? He's like, no, we're destroying it. And us too. And it's like, oh shit. Like it's not even just like, I'm just going to destroy the planet. I'm going to destroy the planet and it's going to kill us. And Shadow knows this. Shadow is 100% on board for dying. Like that. And that's the thing too that I also really like about Keanu Reeves' portrayal of Shadow too. Like the voicing and everything. Because by God, he does a really, really good job in it. Like Shadow definitely does sound like almost sad most of the time.
Full punch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic,
Dude, I'm standing right here.
Your colorful punch.
Like he does feel like there is a sadness behind like everything he says and everything like that. And even when the fight happens and Shadow goes like supersonic, eventually they fight. Shadow's able to actually knock the emeralds out, and they both grab it, and they both do go supersonic. Which I have two Sonics now, supersonics now, but this one glows in the dark, or this one glows. But they both go supersonic. Shadow, and they have a fight which goes like across the entire planet, which is kind of cool. Like it's like they punch. Like, they punch in Greece and they end up, like, in freaking Spain. They end up in, like, freaking America and, like, stuff like that. Like, Egypt, and all this, like, back and forth, like, everywhere. It's kind of cool. But it's really cool. But, yeah, so Shadow, has this whole... They have this whole fight thing. And eventually, like, Sonic does seem to kind of get the upper hand on him with super form and slam Shadow into the moon. Which, again, this is where, like, it's the idea of, like, oh, critics are probably going to hate this movie. I'm going to love the shit out of it. Because, yeah, they're just talking in space. On the moon. Where there's no air. It's just like, they're just talking. And I'm like, yeah, alright, this is a Sonic one. Sonic, at one point, falls in through re-entry and doesn't burn up immediately. It's like, yeah, alright, this is a Sonic movie. Hell yeah. But, they're on the planet and, like, Sonic has Shadow on the ground and Shadow's just like, do it! Get your revenge! Kill me! Like, well, he didn't say kill me, but he's pretty much saying, like, for him to die. He wants to die. Like, Shadow wants to die. It's like, holy shit! And eventually Sonic is like, no, this isn't right. I shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, you should be able to, like, and pretty much kind of explaining, and like, Shadow tells him, kill me, hit me here, and like tells him, like, hit him in his heart to kill him. And Sonic's like, no, like, that can't happen. I can't let anger control me, and all this other stuff. Goes back, and he kind of explains it. He turns off Super. And also, like, there is this cool saying that kind of happens that, like, Maria, earlier in the movie, which I'm like, okay, I know where this is going to kind of go, but still, it's still freaking cool. Earlier in the movie, she tells Shadow about stars as they look up at the sky and, like, how stars are a million miles away, and even a dead star, its light can still shine in the darkness. And I'm like, alright, that's a really cool thing, because eventually Shadow sees, like, the sun coming over the head, and that's where he says it again, like, the idea that Maria's light is the shining in the darkness and giving him purpose. And also, while this is all going on, Eggman's fighting Gerald on the the Eclipse Cannon, and having a whole like nano fight thing. Well, at one point he's spanking him, but they have a whole nano fight thing. I feel like they really give Jim Carrey a lot of leeway to just do the most insane shit possible, like mantis arms, like scorpion, like it's such random shit. I'm like, all right, man, but they have whole big. They have their own little fight scene there. Eventually, Gerald sends out like the gun robots to try to kill, to stop Sonic. Sonic and Shadow both go super. They start fighting. And also, I forgot to mention too, like the reason why Eggman and Gerald are even fighting. One, because of the world blowing up. But Gerald says or Ivo goes like, I love you. I'm your family. Gerald looks at him and goes, but you're no Maria. It's like, oh shit. And that's kind of what sends Ivo off to start fighting Eggman, and he fights Gerald, that whole thing. Eventually, they just kind of knock Gerald into the freaking energy field after Gerald knocks Eggman out, and Eggman off of the Eclipse Cannon, and Tails and Knuckles save him. He stabs him in the ass with the Sonic's quill and sends him into the energy field where he just kind of goes, psst, and just does it. Oh, Jesus. And also, another thing that I really love about this movie, I'm sure it's probably in like the third trailer. Let me see. Let's see. I'm assuming it's gotta be, right? Oh yeah, so like here's the Eclipse Cannon. Well yeah, there's the Eclipse Cannon. Oh yeah, Maria.
All about the choices we make. Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
Another thing I really love about this, because if you notice, there's this where it doesn't look like a regular gun because it's not. It's like an energy gun. But also, here's the thing too. They like one thing I actually really love about this movie is that like it definitely does feel like they want it. Like it's again the guy who, if I remember, I think it's the guy who, it's the other director or someone that worked on the cinematics for Shadow the Hedgehog, the game. Worked on this too, and like his whole plan was that he wanted Shadow to be in the movies. And the thing is, you can kind of really tell because literally right here. Okay.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with
Let's start with a giant fire.
Okay, yeah, here. You see these these prototype version of the energy guns that are actually, now that I'm thinking about it, are using Shadow's own energy to fire. And then you have these newer energy guns. Literally, they did this just so they could give Shadow the gun. Just so they could give Shadow a gun. They made these like futuristic ones just so like, okay, we can't have an actual gun for a kids movie. Fine, we'll give them still an energy gun. That way it's technically not it. So I'm like, that's freaking cool. I love that. I just add attention to detail. Yeah, there's the Eclipse Cannon. Eggman, which that's when he says like, if I can't save the rule the world, I might as well save it.
Ends now.
God. But I might just have to watch this trailer now too. But Shadow, God. But pretty much the Eclipse Cannon starts to fire. Sonic and Shadow, both using super forms, try to stop it, and Shadow's like, this is your plan? And he was like, yeah. Which it like they can't stop it from firing, but then they try like, okay, well we can direct it out of the way, which they do, and it's really cool because then you see like across the planet, you see like the energy beam go over the planet, and they even do have the moon get cut in half. That's freaking cool. I like that. I'm like, all right, cool. They actually did the moon getting cut in half. Nice. But pretty much it starts getting thrown out of the way. Sonic actually loses his super form and falls. Shadow holds it. He releases his rings and he starts pushing it. Tails, Knuckles leave Eggman because they eventually are helping with Eggman to move the thing. Tails and Knuckles leave out to go catch Sonic because he's falling to Earth to use the ring to teleport back. While Robotnik stays there trying to like keep the core in check before it explodes and goes irradiated, because that's another thing. And eventually they do get it out of the way farther enough where Shadow even unlocks his rings, his inhibitors, and pushes the whole thing. accidentally cuts the moon in half, which is really funny because Eggman goes, "I saved the world!" And then he cuts the moon and he's like, "You idiots, cut the moon in half!" And they're like, "What?" I just love it. It's pretty great. Anyway, so they goes. It seems like the Eclipse cannon explodes. Everyone, Sonic's happy that his brothers are there, that he's alive, that his family's alive, and they just seem to have a grand old time. They had a race in the beginning to throw Sonic off, so that way they could surprise him for his birthday. And pretty much Sonic then they pretty much have to finish that race now. Which again, it looks like Shadow's dead. Which I'm like, there ain't no body. There ain't no body, so he ain't dead. But sorry, I'm just fixing this. But Shadow. But and this is where this kind of happens, which hell yeah. So spoilers, major spoilers. Go watch. Oh, I've already spoiled the entire movie. Which this entire movie. Also, I should say too before any of this else happens. One, Stone is awesome, and I really do think if Shadow appears again in the next movie, he'll probably be like living with Stone because Stone seems to be like learning, like how he's being treated isn't good.
Previously,
Dude, I'm standing right.
impressive than the head.
He's been pretty has a terrible work environment because even like he's like tells like, oh, so do you have like business days off or something? He's like, no, I'm his friend. Like I'm not his henchman. And eventually when Shadow and Stone are like in the crab, while Eggman and Gerald go in to get the other key card, like they're talking, and actually it's funny because Stone goes like, "Come on, Shadow, we'll make some guac," and he's like, "Revenge guac." I'm like, "God, I love you, Shadow, you idiot." I feel like a bunch of people are saying like Shadow has autism. I'm like, God, that'd be great. It's another thing me and him could bond about. But anyways, so Shadow, so they're like just making guacamole down there, and I'm like, God, I want more of this. Like, yeah, have Stone be like Shadow's dad in this. That'd be great. So Shadow, but yeah, so like, anyways, to cut to the very end, because there's almost, I think they said like, there's 5 different end credits. Like, there's not, there's 2. There's 2 end credits. There's like a mid-credit one. Maybe it's really more the beginning of the credit. I think it's a mid-credit one, and then there's an after-credit one. Which, by God, the end credit, like, pretty much spoilers, just major spoiler. One, I already love all of this. I love this entire movie. There's stuff I haven't even brought up in it, though I kind of breaks it, all the major plot points of it. Go watch it. It's so good. I'm assuming you already watched it if you're coming to watch this review. Okay, so first off, the very end credit one. Shadow's alive, of course. Like we see one of his rings, his inhibitor rings on the ground, and we see him go pick it up, and like he's alive because it looks like the thing explodes. It looks like he dies with Eggman. I don't think Eggman's dead. I think he's still alive, especially because there's a whole thing about legacy in this movie where Eggman brings up saying like, the Robotnik line ends with me. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case because at the very end of this, we pretty much get what's the opening for Sonic 4, which comes out in, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 years. They already announced it. So, and it's pretty much Sonic at the ending race that he has with Knuckles and Tails. He overshoots it, goes from, I think it's like Washington, I guess, is where he's at, to New York. And when he goes there, we see a certain character land behind him. And we see his, shiny metal and his eyes glow red. And I'm like, holy shit, it's Metal Sonic! And it was Metal Sonic. He pops up. He tries to shoot Sonic with his arm cannon that he has. And so I was like, well, if you try to, like, he hits Metal Sonic's like, if you're going to do that, make sure you don't miss. And, his head twists around and Metal Sonic looks at him and like, he's like, oh, nice cosplay, but why? And pretty much it turns out he's not the only Metal Sonic. As multiple Metal Sonics appear around Sonic, he's like, oh shit. And they start getting closer and closer, and then that's when you see a big-ass pink hammer spin around and slam into all of them, and it's like, oh my god! And he catches it's a hoodie character, and like Sonic's like, what? And she pulls back her hood, and it's freaking Amy Rose. It's like, holy shit! Like, not only did we see Metal Sonic, we saw Amy, which I was like, holy shit! Which also, because, and again, just one, I think I did guess Metal Sonic would probably be in this. Although some people were saying like, oh, are they gonna reveal Silver at the very, very end? It was showing Shadow's life. All right, cool. But because now that I think about it, yeah, because Metal Sonic and Amy both debuted in the same game, which also that game dealt with time travel. Which again, because the thing is, I doubt Gerald built Metal Sonics, and I doubt Ivo was really building any Metal Sonics in his whole time he was away. So. And also, like, it's, like, straight Metal Sonic. Like, it's not, like, a glossy white one or whatever. It's straight Metal Sonic. And, like, he looks like he just jumped straight out of the game at that point. Like, 100%, like, they just took him straight out. Well, not, like, like, 100%, you know what I mean? He looks like he came straight out of the game. And I'm pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and guess that he is from the future. Along with, Amy, who also had a hammer, whose Pico Pico hammer actually looked like it was metal, and like it, if I'm remembering correctly, it glowed. It had a glow in it, like it's technology. So I'm guessing she's from the future, as well as Metal Sonic, because that would also make sense there's a bunch of Metal Sonics now, and also I'm guessing those Metal Sonics are because if it's not Eggman in the future, it's probably his progeny, Mega Eggman, where I think that's his grandkid actually. So, one, you could continue the whole Eggman bloodline thing like they were talking about. Also, maybe even show who the hell Eggman's going to have a kid with. Or they could probably just say they cloned him or not, or something, because he did say he was going to clone Stone. But these two are in the next movie. I'm like, alright, that's freaking cool. Mind you, let me say this right now. I am still hyped for this movie, and I definitely want to see where it's going to go. I love it. But also on that same note, it's this was the other one was real of Shadow the Hedgehog. I was like, oh shit! It was just like a second thing. They straight showed Amy kicking shit out of all the robots and then appearing. He just doesn't say anything, but it's like an entire opening like action fight scene for like the next movie. I'm like, holy shit! Like, oh crap, okay. But yeah, Amy and Metal. Amy and Metal are in the next one. I'm excited for that so much. Which I completely forgot that. Yeah, they did come in the same game, which really that means like I think we're still going technically in order. The only thing is that Shadow came out before this one, because why not give us Shadow the Hedgehog? That's probably gonna put so many butts in seats like immediately after Sonic 2 just finished. Holy shit, I'm excited for this too now. Also, I can't wait till I'm having the toppers for Amy and them. I'm sure I will, Amy and Metal. And I'm sure some of these are probably going to be the exact same. Would not surprise me. If the cups are different, at least, I'll probably get the cups different. If it's not, if it's just Amy and Metal, fine. But, yeah. These were good. This was good. I love this movie so much. Like, this is probably my favorite Sonic movie. I love this series so much. I will say, and like, again, like, the ending of Amy and Metal, freaking great. Everything with Shadow was great. Down to like stuff where like he's walking in the rain and you see like the little bits of fur and he's like, just staying there. The gun age is coming after him. It's really good. I would have liked a little bit more him and Stone interacting, because again, I thought that was actually kind of cute seeing them interact. They seemed like Stone would be like a good parent for him. Like even that just like, come on Shadow, we'll make some guac. And like Shadow going, revenge guac. It's like, alright. Like he has a little bit of a silliness to him. And also like I feel like Stone works as a good counterpoint for Shadow. Similar to how Tom is for Sonic. Which also, okay, just for predictions though, for the next one, I might make another separate video talking about it. My predictions is, again, Amy and metal are from the future. That would explain why there's so many different metals that were suddenly built, because it's going to be maybe like a Terminator-esque plot, although I doubt Amy's not going to be like that. If anything, Amy's going to be not the Sarah Connor, the dude who goes back in time in Terminator in the first movie, and then eventually like he's the father of John Connor. That's what Amy's going to be, pretty much. She's going to go back in time for that. And also, because the thing is, they could open this up a lot if they do that, because yeah, you have Amy revealed and Metal Sonic. If they wanted to, they could reveal like there's a whole resistance in the future going on. They have a whole resistance in the future going on where they're fighting against Nega Eggman, which they could have that Amy's actually part of a rebel, a rebel force, maybe of a group of freedom fighters, and Amy, there's a bunch of other characters that pop up with her. Like, let's say, Silver. Not saying he has to be there, but, it'd be cool if he was. But then again, he'd probably be best to save him for, like, another movie. But anyways, it's all future timeline thing. So, I don't know. It'd be cool to see Silver. Silver could pop up. And also another thing, too, that I would like is, again, like, you could have characters like Rouge. You could have Rouge. Hell, you could have Omega. Because if you think about it, like, if we're going like the future robots and all this stuff, Omega's from the future. There you go. He's a robot from the future, like Metal was. Maybe Omega was created by Stone, if anything. That's why he doesn't have a blue color scheme. I don't know. Like, something along those lines. And also, not to mention, Stone would also be a great dad for, I think, Shadow, Rouge, and Omega. That'd be so good. I want to see that family now. But, yeah. Any case. This movie was awesome. I'm so happy that I saw it. I'm so happy I got these figures. I got this poster. Shoot. I got this. And the thing is, too, again, I won like a lottery thing that won me like $200 for like $200 gift card. Like a MasterCard gift card. Which I got. So I got all this pretty much for free in that sense. So... yeah, I don't know why they didn't do a shadow head, but hey, you know what? I'm not complaining. It looks nice. But, this movie was just awesome. I love it a lot. Like, a lot. This is probably I love these movies so much. I love Sonic. And, I want to see more. I want to see more of these. And, hold on. I'm kind of hoping that, like, because, like, that's the thing, too, like, they're not even trying to rush these, like, out the door, either. Like, they are taking their time with these Sonic movies. Don't cut towards you, cut away. But they are taking their time with these Sonic movies. Again, like, they could just try to fart out another movie in, like, a year. But they're not. They're actually... okay. They're actually taking their time with it. They're actually taking their time with it. Again, like, they announced that, like, yeah, there's going to be a Sonic 4. There's going to be a Sonic 4, so, and it's going to come out in 2027. Which I see people talking like, oh, how old are you going to be? I'm going to be 20 years old. I'm going to be 30. It's like, oh, shit. Which also, like, again, like, it... also, I'll say this, too. If you like figures, if you like collecting figures of that, I highly recommend getting these figures. Like, you can see them back there. But I recommend getting these figures because, like, I got the ones from the last one, which those ones I did not open. Oh, he's glowing. Oh, come on, Shadow, you're not going to glow? No, that's fine. But these figures legitimately are really, really good. I did a review on some of them beforehand, but I never uploaded it. I might do that at some point. But oh shit. Okay. But I legit highly recommend these. These aren't that, like, I got these two guys for $30. I think, like, regular figures are, like, $12, $13. Are you serious? These things are locked in here. Holy shit. Also, watch out, too, because, you know, plastic, like, I don't know how good the joints are, but, like, articulation-wise, these figures are freaking great. And, like, they stand pretty well. The only character that has a problem standing is maybe Tails. His back came out. Why did his back just come out? What the hell? Oh, well, we'll fix that later. Sonic, get your back in. I really hope that didn't, like... Oh, I think it actually kind of broke off. Ah, well, that's fine. I was just saying how good these figures are, and then one... I can... that's a simple fix, I think. But... Oh, here's the other battery. But these figures legit are some of the really good ones. Which, you know, if you want a good Shadow Sonic figures, which also I love the articulation with these things. I'll do a review on these alone. God. But the acting, the voice acting is really great. That's the thing too. Like, it's like someone asked me in like my last stream, like, what is your favorite, you know, animated movie of this year? And I'm like, well, this one, even though I didn't see it yet. I'm like, this one. I 100% consider these movies like, and also another thing I actually really like about this movie too is that, like, I feel like some people, they took a little bit of, like, it wasn't really even complaints about the last movie, but in the last movie, you know, there was the focus on, like, the wedding and all this stuff. This one way more is literally just about the adventure. This one is way more about the adventure. There is no... If there is a B plot, it's literally ties into... Man, Shadow's foot just wants to be stuck in there, huh? There we go. Is your back gonna come out? No? Cool. But, if there is a B plot, it's literally Eggman just bonding with Gerald. And even then, it's not even, like... It's still part of it. Like, they're bonding while the story is going on. There is no, like, wedding one, even though there is a cameo from some characters from that wedding, which was kind of a great little twist. Way of doing it, but, yeah, this movie is just great. If you recommend, and also, spoilers also for the final battle, they actually play Live and Learn when Sonic and Shadow go super, and it's so awesome, it's so great. Go check this movie out, it's so good, it's so awesome. Make sure to support this, because I want more of it. And my Shadow has 2 left feet. Is it? Or is it just... Oh, no. No. Okay, he's good. Yeah, I thought like, oh no, but no, he's fine. Yeah, alright. Anyway, thanks for watching. Share your videos. Sonic, get your back in there. Thanks for watching. Share my videos. Hopefully enjoy this, and we will. See you later. Live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow. Chaos Control!